So welcome back, and how did you go looking at your business and your performance? Are there some strengths we need to capitalise on, some weaknesses we need to do something about? Are there opportunities we can take advantage of? And importantly, are there threats we need to be aware of and do something about to minimise that particular impact? The thing that actually comes up here is potentially there are some worries around the change process. So this occurs with your team and maybe even with you as you start to look at some of these changes. Let's have a look at the 4 reasons people actually worry about change. The first one is a lack of information. Now here's the interesting thing. Quite often, and I've seen this happen over and over again in business, if you're not clear on where you're going or if you're a bit concerned, rather than giving more communication and more information, the leaders tend to start to bring information back. In other words, stop communicating. Let me tell you, if you're not communicating about where you're going and where you're heading, I can guarantee the people will be making it up for themselves. So you need to actually give them quality information. The second concern is that people actually are worried about their personal impact. How is that going to affect me and my role? Well, guess what? You need to clearly communicate to me once again. How is it going to actually affect and impact me? People with change normally think about what they're going to lose rather than what they're going to gain. So it's important that you have the ability to reinforce and help people understand what it is they're going to gain. How is it going to benefit them? And what's the personal impact of this particular change? The next one is, in terms of the process of change, they're not sure how it's going to happen. You might have told them where we're going to end up. Great, this is the result. But some people will worry about how is that going to happen? How are we going to actually make this change? What's the first step, the second step? Where are we going to go to and how are we going to get there? And the final thing is, where are we going to end up? At the end of the day, we're going to do all this change. Where is it going to take us to? So here's the thing. This is a worthwhile one having in the back of your diary or having a little notepad somewhere. So you're about to introduce a change, flick over and have a look at these and say, aha, is there a lack of information? Do I need to give people more information? Secondly is there a personal impact that I need to address? Now that could be even a one-on-one conversation you have with one of your team members to address any personal concerns I might have. Have I given real clarity as to where we're going to take this? And have I given real clarity as to what are some of the steps that need to be in place? Now once again, you don't need to do all this yourself. In fact, you could actually ask the team, so how do you think we'd make this happen? Have the team brainstorm the plan as to how we're going to move forward with it. The other little tip with changing something is when you implement something new in your business, if you implement it as a test or in a short term, so in other words, let's do this for the next 90 days. What you'll find will happen is people will say, if it's 90 days, I can absolutely live with that. Okay, great, let's go ahead and put it in place. But if you say we're now putting this in place for the entire life of our company, people might start to question that. Of course, after 90 days, you might find it's become so much part of the culture, you don't even need to discuss it. Or after 90 days, you could actually turn around and say, hey, has this added value? Do we need to tweak it or improve this particular strategy? Fantastic way of starting to create change. Now, the other little tip I can give you around this is you may have a tribal elder or two in your business. A tribal elder is the kind of person that has been around for a while in your company, and they can either support the change process or actually hold up the change process. I'd strongly recommend with these people, you want to actually have a quality conversation with them. Bring them almost into an inner circle. You see, if they support a change, you go to a team meeting and say, we're changing this and this and this, the tribal elder, if they don't know about it, simply because they haven't been given the inner circle knowledge, they could go negative rather than positive towards it. And you pretty much know if their first comment your tribal elder says is, that's a great idea, really looking forward to that, then everyone else in the team starts aligning and buying into it. So make sure you've got your tribal elders identified and you really support the process of educating and informing them of what's occurring. And when you do that, suddenly these 4 worries will start to diminish. You reduce these worries, then suddenly people will buy into the change process far more powerfully. And of course, once 1 or 2 or 3 changes are working well, the willingness to change the next thing and the next thing, and then have the team actually generating the change, increases dramatically. Have a quality conversation right now as to who are your tribal elders and what are the key things you'd like to change in your business. And then look at how you're going to implement those changes in such a way that people will have the information, they will understand their personal impact, the positive side of the personal impact, they will actually understand the process, and they will understand where we're heading to with it as well. Enjoy the conversation.